Hello there, Riderflex Nation. Steve Urban here with more career advice and job interviewing tips for you. And as a quick reminder, if you enjoy our podcast, please remember to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes. And on today's podcast, a reminder that everyone needs practice. That's right, practice, folks. You know, a few weeks ago, I was traveling to New York on business, going through the airport, and I was reminded of how important practice really is. I used to fly all the time. I was an expert flyer. I could walk through the airport blindfolded almost and go through security and just had every movement down pat. Knew exactly what to do, and I could get through the security line very quickly. An expert traveler, if you will. Well, I hadn't flown in a long time. And on this trip to New York, I walked up to security and started to do what I thought was my normal routine. And I kind of fumbled around a little bit, wasn't quite as smooth with all of my movements as I was trying to take off my shoes or take things out of my laptop bag. Meanwhile, I looked behind me and the person standing there, probably 10 years younger than me, started laughing, kind of smile on her face because security was rushing over towards me to say, stop, leave everything in your bag, leave your shoes on. Don't you know what line you're in? I guess I was in a different line. The rules had changed since I had flown a long time ago. Anyway, my point is this. I looked like one of those old guys that hadn't flown in a super long time and didn't really know what he was doing, and I was holding up the line. Meanwhile, I used to be an expert traveler. I was the guy in the security line complaining about the people ahead of me not knowing what they were doing. What's my point? What's my point of this podcast? My point is this. I don't care where you're at in your career. I don't care if you're a senior level executive. If you're about to go on a job interview and you haven't done an interview in a long time, I highly encourage you to practice. Have somebody interview you. Have your partner or your spouse or your friend or a family member do a mock interview with you. Make sure you type up answers to routine questions you'll probably be asked. I'm telling you, if you haven't interviewed in a long time, I don't care where you're at in the pipeline of positions, whether you're a C-suite executive or a manager or whatever it is you are, if you haven't practiced and done an interview in a long time, trust me, you're going to screw up. Okay? So practice, go over your questions, make sure you've prepared answers, make sure that you're ready to hit the ball over the fence when the time comes for you to do that interview. And there is your Riderflex tip of the day. We truly hope you find our material helpful and entertaining. And in the spirit of giving back, Riderflex donates half of all proceeds gained from this podcast to the Volunteers of America and their efforts to support veterans with employment services. You can become a supporter of this podcast by listening on the platform Anchor FM. That's anchor.fm/Riderflex. You can send us your questions or suggested topics. Our email is podcast@riderflex.com or drop us a voicemail at 888-964-5876. Visit riderflex.com to learn more about us. Thanks so much for listening, folks, and have a wonderful day.